In today's video, we're talking about what is a tripwire and how can it 10x potentially your sales conversion rate on your core offer. Let's get into it. By the way, my name is Matt Ackerson. I'm the founder and CEO of autogrow.co, in case you don't already know. So in 2018, I went all in on products, specifically info products. I was super excited. We had put a pause on selling our productized services for the time being, and I was just so excited to see all right, this new type of funnel selling just products. What can I do? What can I learn? I was ready to apply all of these concepts like tripwires and see how they did in action. And the result was that for our first year selling only info products, we generated over $50,000 in revenue. And creating and implementing a tripwire was really, I think, a key linchpin in how we were able to generate, I would probably credit it with at least 30% or more of the entire global revenue. And the tripwire was only costing $7 in total. The tripwire that we created was the ultimate swipe file for business sales funnels. And we put this together as a valuable resource to help to inspire customers and members of our audience who are business owners, entrepreneurs, founders, marketers, to just have a creative base to go off of, to see what was working and converting for other businesses, so that when they go to write copy, when they go to create an ad campaign on Facebook or retargeting campaign, landing pages, this swipe file was in their back pocket and they could use it as inspiration to model what was already working in other industries or in their own. So it was just a very comprehensive swipe file with hundreds and hundreds of hand-picked examples by me personally as a marketer and entrepreneur with over 17 years of experience. We started bootstrapped, $200 in the bank, but launching this in 2018, we had over 1,778 orders just from this little $7 info product. Total lifetime sales were $12,446. But as I mentioned, this is a tripwire. And what is a tripwire? Let's define that. Well, a tripwire, I think the word originally comes from a wartime device or tactic where it's like a trap that might be set up for an enemy. But the idea is that there's a trigger for something to happen. And it applies to a sales funnel and marketing because people will run into an offer, for example, after they might opt into your email list, which is how we had it set up. And we say, hey, we think you'd like this other thing. It's only $7 today. Are you interested? And a significant portion of people would go and actually check out and buy. What happens after that though? Well, let's say you're paying $14 per lead. Well, if you have a 50% conversion rate on your tripwire, that reduces your cost of opt-in lead acquisition by 50%. It's pretty big. And if you can get it to be break even or profitable, it turns into what you would call a self-liquidating offer. That's something that we can talk about in a future article and video. So if you're interested to hear about what a self-liquidating offer is, which is just as cool as a tripwire and very powerful concept, definitely feel free to subscribe if you're watching this on YouTube, or subscribe to our email list on the Autogrow site. So what happens after people actually opt in to get a tripwire that's really special and interesting is that you are offering them something that might be complimentary, or upselling them on something that is significantly more expensive, but that also provides significantly more value. And there are different ways to do this. So you can do it immediately right after checkout, or you can do it later over time, after they've had time to consume and receive and see the value of the $7, for example, product. But tripwire doesn't have to be $7. It's typically going to be anywhere from as low as $1 to around $50 typically. The idea is to form an association in the customer's mind where, okay, I don't know brand XYZ, but I spent some money with them and I got more value than I paid for. So if I spend more money with brand XYZ, then I'll probably get even more value compared to the money that I actually spent. And so from the customer's perspective, it helps to kind of catalyze a larger long-term relationship. The idea is that it's a small incremental step, and sometimes that initial step of just person pulling out their wallet or signing into PayPal and paying that way, that's a big step. That takes some emotional energy to make that decision, to make decisions in general. So with something like a $7 or just low dollar cost in general tripwire, it just helps to kind of provide a nice on-ramp to a higher dollar value off you, like your core offer. That being said, that should cover basically like what is a tripwire. And now I just want to go over a few questions from Wilson, one of the newest members to the AutoGrow team. So let's take a look at what Wilson's questions were, which might also be some questions that you have about tripwires. All right, so the first question from Wilson: what is the first tripwire you created and how did it perform? What lessons did you learn from that initial test? So I went over this earlier in the video. It was a $7 tripwire for a swipe file. It was a high value relative to the price. And I think I was just surprised at the conversion rate, which was great. And I think it was great also because it was very aligned with what our audience was looking for related to, sales funnels, for example, and just help with marketing campaigns, inspiration, modeling what works, knowing from someone who has kind of filtered through all of these examples. Also just seeing the upsells coming from the tripwire actually working quite well also. You really don't know something, I think, as well until you actually do it. So if you think and or are confident that a tripwire might be right for your company in terms of integrating it into your funnel, I encourage you to do it. It doesn't have to be, some sort of new product or service necessarily that you have to go and create. I saw a SaaS, something as simple as, they have a monthly subscription and it's something like, let's say $30 a month. And their kind of tripwire to get people deeper into the funnel is they would also offer, hey, your first whatever widget of value is only $39.95 for your first month. And then it's reoccurring after that. It could be as simple as that. Number two, for those new tripwires, what's the easiest way to get started creating one? Well, I think I kind of already went over this, but briefly, it doesn't have to be complicated. It can be as simple as an ebook that has some sort of comprehensive knowledge of what you have experience in and what your target audience is looking for in terms of a solution. And you could charge $9, $7, $5, $1 if you want, $19. I thought it was kind of a really beautiful thing where I saw one marketer, an entrepreneur, Brennan Dunn over at Right Message. He started his website, Double Your Freelancing, and it was all about, he wrote a book by the same title, and then he turned that book, which originally he was selling for just, $10, something like this. He turned it into an updated book, raised the price, turned it into a course, and just kept building from there. And it was just kind of a cool evolution, all from just a single, he might have called it at the time, but it was a tripwire, and it just led to a larger and larger base of products and offers. It doesn't have to be super complicated. You can, build something custom from scratch if you want, but it doesn't have to be. It can be something as simple as an ebook or a service slice. When determining tripwire pricing, what do you find that sweet spot between too low and too high? What have you found works best? The sweet spot is between $1 to $49. I mean, I did hear about a business recently that a college student in computer science, he put together this brand of just like churning out like books with the help of an AI. And I don't know about the level of quality of that. He was selling in the range of $7 to $20. And he was able to generate over $900,000. Obviously, this didn't happen overnight. He had to, work on the funnel, get it right, optimize it. But he was able to make it profitable and come up with many, many books and start to build a real brand around it in this niche market. He was going after mothers with young children who wanted to better connect with their children, and he wrote books on that topic, I believe. You're probably not going to make that your entire business model though, so don't think too much about if I price it high enough, I can, make it a lot more. If you're trying to lower your ad costs, that's one perspective, to turn it into a self-liquidating offer. If you're looking to make this your core business, that's a completely different thing. But otherwise, it's less about the money. It's more about that the customer is spending something that they are going to be guaranteed to get, in your professional opinion, a higher value return on their investment as a comparison. A little bit of money for a lot more value. Because when you present your core offer, that trust, because they've already spent money with you, it's just gonna make the sale so much easier because you've already built that trust. What's a common tripwire mistake you see people make? How can they avoid tripping up when creating their first one? I think raising the price point to be too high, in which case it would probably fall out of the range of a tripwire, and just making an offer for something that is out of alignment with what the market actually wants. How often should someone nurture their list before offering a tripwire? What's the ideal timeline you found? I mean, in our experience, the vast majority of sales actually would come right after people would opt in to our email list. And I decided to do it that way because that's how I saw a digital marketer doing it in the past. When they first came on the scene, I studied their funnel. That was a point. I actually became a customer myself. It worked on me to sell me. And so I experimented with it, and it's worked quite well. Majority coming not from an email campaign blast, but just after the point of opt-in. You really don't need a lot of nurturing. You can even look at it, for a lot of people, it will be an impulse purchase depending on the price point. What core metrics do you track to determine if a Tripwire is successful? When do you know it's time to change something? Well, I think it's just about the market. If the value that is being offered matches with the need of the market, then the Tripwire can be effective for a very long period of time. We keep our swipe file updated. We've actually just updated it recently, and it's just about, if it's an info product, you have to kind of maintain it, make sure it stays up to date so it maintains its perceived value. But depending on what the subject is, it can be very evergreen. You may not have to make many updates to it. In terms of core metrics though, I'm just looking at what's the rate of successful upsell from it, what's the overall conversion rate in terms of people opting in to actually purchasing. So that's it for today's video. If you'd like to check out autogrow.co, we have a done-for-you service where we give you an entire all-in-one marketing team, including copywriting, content writing, design, development. It's a team of humans, talented, vetted professionals who can just get all of your marketing tasks and projects off your plate so you don't have to be kind of piecing it together with freelancers and all these different marketplaces. It's a flat, amazingly affordable monthly price. So if you're interested in that, go check us out at autogrow.co, and we can help you to actually execute on a lot of the ideas that I teach in these videos and in our blog articles. It's just $7 for your first 7 days to try us out. So it's very low risk to you. And what do you have to lose? Go check us out at autogrow.co if that sounds interesting to you. Until next time, keep auto growing and stay focused. I'll see you in the comments if you have any questions or if you'd like to connect. Thanks a lot.